Welcome once again to episode 02 of the Unmotivated podcast. Today, once again, we have a great friend of mine that is going to be a part of this. That I think is very interesting because she not only does content for gaming, but she also does lifestyle / gym content, and that's been a part of my life for the past year and a half. And I think a lot of people ever since the pandemic have been picking up this kind of bettering your life type of approach to life, being healthy, proactive. And I think it'd be interesting to know what she has to say. She's been doing this for a very long time. But without further ado, let's go over and welcome T. Miss T, one of my favorite humans on this planet, as I was saying earlier. She, Warzone, Call of Duty extraordinaire, entertainer, amazing dancer, bunny enjoyer, gym goer, fascinatingly interesting person to talk to. I've had many conversations with this lady that I was never expecting to have a connection with, and over the past year and a half maybe that we've kind of known each other, she's been nothing but welcoming to me, and she carries out a community of people that are incredible, that are amazing, that I've got many friends from, have gotten to play video games with, that have gotten to support me on my own personal journey as well. And I'm very grateful for her for that. So here we go. Without further ado, Miss T, please introduce yourself. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. My name is T, or Legend of T. I play a lot of Warzone, Call of Duty, and I'm also a gym rat. I'm currently trying to pursue or go into powerlifting competition. I'm also dance, and been a content creator for about 7 years now, but consistently doing it for about 4 or 5 by now. But I'm really happy to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
That is a long time of content creator, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So you're like, so 5, 7, so after the pandemic, counting back time is kind of like distortioned for me. Because like when you say 5, 7 years, I still think of 2015.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, no, like 5 years was 2018. Yeah. So, okay, so since like 2017, 2018, you've kind of been taking this serious? Kind of like,
So I first started ever streaming when it was 2015.
okay.
It was November. I was a senior in high school, and that's when I ever first started streaming, but I had to stop because I was in school. I had dance practice and also work at the same time. So I had to pretty much put that aside so I can graduate high school and everything like that. But pretty much when I graduated high school in 2016, that summer I remember getting Overwatch for the first time, and I just started streaming it straight from my PS4, and I was streaming off a 55-inch TV with a terrible laptop and no camera, no nothing, just enjoying, just gaming, not for the soul. Cause this was also before the affiliation program for Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally sole factor of the fact that I love gaming, and I've always loved gaming. So
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see because, funnily enough, as disorganized as I am, I don't know why I decided to make this episode come out sooner than the one I recorded on Thursday. So this is actually the third episode I record. Moosey's episode, which is already out. Mm-hmm. Then I had scheduled to be number 2, but then someone kind of swept into my schedule and said, hey, I can only do this day. And I scheduled them for a later episode, but I actually recorded before. And it's interesting to see the difference on like everybody's background on this. because Moose is more traditional.
Hmm.
uh he started doing this because he started competing in H1Z1, and from
Hmm.
there he kind of gained a following, and then he kind of brought it up.
Yeah.
You
H1Z1.
started right. That was such, we were talking about, like, holy, like that was a game that kind of started the entire BR thing that
Yes.
that we all kind of
Yeah.
live in now, right?
Hmm.
And then from there, um who I'm having next week after yours is
Hmm.
actually Steph.
I
um
love her.
I had the opportunity to talk with Steph, and she was incredible. But Steph to me is so interesting because she's such an outlier compared to anyone else's stories of success that I've ever listened to. Because she's
Hmm.
only been doing this for like 5 minutes compared to everyone else, and
Yeah.
she's found the level of success to be able to, to get out of a very good finance job that she has to take up full time, and not
Hmm.
only scary but very exciting to learn
Right.
a little bit about from her. But that's coming out for the listeners next week,
Hmm.
next Wednesday. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to know everybody's kind of like background, right? I did not know you started with Overwatch.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten tired of talking about myself here, but
No, you're good.
I don't know if you knew, but I competed in Overwatch.
Word?
So I don't know if you how long you played Overwatch for, but Overwatch they have the Overwatch League, then they have the
Hmm.
Contenders section, and then in order to get to Contenders, there is an open division.
Hmm.
And on open division, there's like, I remember on 2017, the first year I competed, it was like 6,000 teams trying to get a spot in Contenders.
Wow.
And then in
Hmm.
2018, it was like 4,000 teams that tried to compete in order to get a spot. Out of those 4,000 teams, I made top 14 with my team.
Top 14, that's insane.
And that is so only the top two teams get a spot in Contenders. Yeah. And the top 14 are like the playoffs kind of, and we made that 2 years in a row. So like I was into Overwatch like
Hmm.
crazy. But I don't know, the Overwatch scene is a little different.
Yes.
Unless you were like a really incredible pro player, you had to be a complete entertainer back then.
Right.
And I was totally not into that. So you would see like a lot of the other like top 500 players streaming with like 2 3 viewers, and there wasn't really a viewership for like good players, but that weren't particularly incredible at the game. Um,
Hmm.
so I kind of missed out on that wave. But yeah, to talk about myself, because I know I kind of came out of nowhere. I actually have been in the COD community since 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. If you go to a lot of my like old follows, I follow a lot of like the OGs, but that are not like the very famous people. Like, do you? I don't know if you know. Do you know Greedo? Negrito,
Guido.
Negrito Bandito.
The name sounds familiar, but
So a lot of people in the COD community might know him from like way back when, because he used to know everyone. He wasn't particularly a content creator or anything, but
mhm.
like you would always see him in the optic lobbies and the face lobbies and the SOAR lobbies, and it's like, who is this man? Like,
Right.
um, I don't know if you remember also back from, I was into like the trick shot thing back then.
Hmm.
Um, Phase, sorry, not Phase, Optic Jambi.
Ambi.
So
No.
I love, then again, this is very obscure, but this is one of the people that kind of groomed Phase for success.
Hmm.
Back when like the very ill camps days, he would also show up in the ill camps. Like I still see him on my timeline for every now and then. He kind of disappeared after Hector broke down the sniping team from Optic.
Hmm.
Um, and then he still follows me, which is insane to me, because now I tweet to at Nakari a lot, and then he knows drama from way back in the day, because Nakari,
Yeah.
I that's how I know Nakari. I've been following Nakari since 2011, so it's like,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
every time I tweet something about Nakari, I see his replies and I try to hide him because it's always some drama shit in from the past, and I'm like, I'm not trying to start something in the fucking timeline.
Come
But
on, the
anyway,
path.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I've been here for a while. I just disappeared a few times, but that's why I have so much respect for the things that content creators that are already like established, like yourself, for
Mhm.
example, do. Because it's a grind, man. It's a grind, and it's something that I am trying to not imitate or replicate, but kind of get used to more and more than anything else. It's just like
Right.
I understand how much of a sacrifice this is, just working your 9 to 5, getting out of, you know, tired of maybe a job that you don't like particularly, and getting home and taking care of your stuff at home, and then sitting down to game for 2 3 hours a day so you could edit for 1 hour 2 hours every day, and then sleep 4 hours and rinse and repeat the next day. Like, it's a very sacrificed life. However, I want to teach myself that it can also be rewarding, um, and it can be an experience that you can look forward to. So
Absolutely.
that's why we're here. So after that kind of introduction of each other, um, let's go over career overview. So you did tell me you've been doing this since high school for a little bit. You stopped,
Mhm.
and then you went more serious into it later on. How did that come? Like, how did that happen?
So 2016, like I said before, I streamed literally just off of my PS4 and on a 55-inch TV. Um, and literally like off my PS4 for about 2 years until I got my first PC in 2018. And then I had once I got my first PC, I kind of was like, okay, maybe I can actually like, do something with this. Like maybe let's go with it, And then I joined my very first team called Northern Forces, I believe in 2018 as well. And it's been kind of just like a ride ever since. And I've just really grown to just love it. Um, and just like slowly over time, just like upgrade from like two monitors to like three monitors, slowly from one PC to two PC, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely been a long journey, lots of blood, sweat, and tears into this,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
um, it's definitely very heartwarming. Had a lot of doubts, but at the same time, like you gotta just keep pushing through. Just for the passion.
Okay, yeah, it definitely. It's. We were talking about that with Steph too. It's gotta come from a place of passion. If it
Hmm.
does not come from a place of passion, and you're looking for anything else while you're trying to do this, I don't think you're gonna. I don't think it's happening, because
No.
it's a big sacrifice, and it's one that does not reap its rewards into very very later on,
Right.
if any, at any point, because a lot of people still do this out of just pure passion, and nothing else.
Hmm.
um this is interesting because I did not have this written down, but I don't know how comfortable you would feel
Okay.
trying to answer this. Do you have a list of teams you've been a part of,
Oh
or
yeah.
organizations that you've been a part of?
Yeah. So I went from Northern Forces. And then I joined Dare Rising for literally a month before they ended.
Oh my god. Like every
Yeah.
five, I remember they just had like a 3 year run, or like a 2 year run every couple of years, and then they ended, and it pisses me off.
Right.
So
And then
you were such a big name back then.
yeah, for sure. And then after that, I joined Obey Alliance. I was in the team for about I think like 2 years. I joined in 2020 during
Oh
COVID, and
wow.
then 2020. I remember my timeline here. Yeah. So then I left in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And then I joined Carnage in 2022. And then I left Carnage about a few months ago just because I just think no disrespect to any like organizations or teams like that, but I just think it's better to, at this point in time with content creation, to be solo until you get a salary. And I think that's really important because Business wise, I don't think it's a smart idea to rep organization if you're not getting paid, especially if you put in a lot of work and representation, like you're representing this team. And you got to look at things from a business perspective. And if you're not really, gaining any type of like salary from it, you're kind of just self like promoting for free.
Yeah.
When you get numbers, you have so many people looking at you on a daily basis and everything like that. Like, where is that value in yourself and also the content you put in, also representing that team,
Yeah, I get it. Excuse me. So here's the thing. I think it's a pretty cool tool. This is my view from as an outsider. Someone that's not there yet and hasn't have to deal with this. I think it's a very nice tool to have at your disposal when you're kind of growing at the start.
Absolutely.
Because just think about it. Let's say you've kind of had your first crack at the formula, right? Like you start getting your first videos at the door that start really attracting people. They take notice of this, like an organization. Let's one of these organizations that are a little bit more established because there's also a lot of like names out there that people really don't know and really don't mean anything, and then they just trying to like get people to just carry their name and then feed off the content creator.
Exactly.
And it's like okay, sure. But let's talk about, okay, and in this case, like Obey's been established ever since. You know what's funny? I know I geek about these things. Like, I know the exact story of Obey, and they started this year when like
right.
the Agony twins got kicked out of FaZe because they started faking clips. I remember like all of that happening. But yeah, no. Let's say Obey, right? Obey is a name that has weight into it, not only because of their history, but because of, I actually don't know any more people that are on Obey. Like I remember I got back into like getting to know some of the people that were in there. Like I think it was you, Nicole. She's gonna kill me because I just said her full name here. Anyway,
yeah, she's gonna kill you.
No, cause she knows damn well why she can't, because that used to be her handle back in the day. But anyway, she like, and then I knew a few people because you guys were always like in each other's streams and kind of supporting each other. But after kind of it blew up last year, like, and everyone kind of like took their ways. I actually don't know anyone that's still left in Obey, which is interesting. I should be doing that research. But like, for example, they have tools of people that are part of this, that have been a part of this scene for a long time, and have some people, like, for example, I know Fumes, that I don't know what role he plays in Obey anymore. I know he's been in the scene forever.
Yes.
And not only that, but he knows a lot of stuff. Like, he knows how to work his way around getting impressions for getting your content looked at, and I find that is a very important tool to have, or like a very handy opportunity to maybe learn from someone like him. Sure. If you're starting out, and if like you start getting your first break, maybe you're hitting some insane clips and your videos are kind of getting your first couple of like 1,000 views, maybe, like, and they take a look at this and they allow you the opportunity to grow with them. I think it's cool to take that opportunity. But if it's someone that's been doing it for as long as you've been doing it, and I think you're in a different level at this point. You particularly are in a different level because your name means something. I mean, look at what you're wearing. That not everyone in this world has this T-shirt, man. Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter how good you are at the damn game or how many views you pull. If you did not go to that event, you don't got it. And that carries some weight with it, like it's an exclusive club, as he said, that only like 200 people have the opportunity to say, hey, look, I was a part of this. Right. And not only that, but the towel behind you also carries some weight to it, like that's the little new kid up. Well, as of last year, it was like kind of the new fresh kid on the block with the whole, transition over, and it's like G Fuel was it for the longest time, and then these guys came out of nowhere and just said like, we're taking over, man. Like, and they've taken over the business. And I remember growing up watching the FaZe channel, trying to get G Fuel for my entire life. I never got to taste it until actually you gave me the opportunity because I won one of the sample packs one day of the G Fuel.
Really?
Yeah, and then that was the reason why I tried G Fuel. And then after that, now that I have adult money, actually this is the cup I drink to from a daily basis. I just take off the top, but this is the cup I drink to like from on a daily basis. There's
Yeah,
a Ghost Shaker.
ghost.
Um, because now, as I was saying in the beginning, I've gym has been a part of my life for the past year and a half, and to be able to mix those two little things has been really motivating because you know, I think they did a great thing with the branding, taking the opportunity of the pandemic. Everybody started gaming, and everybody also started to doing like the self-care thing, and
Yeah.
and the fitness thing kind of came in with that, and they took advantage of that and completely built something incredible. That is what Ghost is today, and
Mhm.
your name is attached to that name, and I think that's important. Like that carries some weight, and not everyone can tell
Yeah.
you like, hey, look, I'm gonna give you nothing, and you're gonna give me everything,
Mhm.
and that's the difference in between like, hey, I'm no one, and there's someone until you get there's a medium, you know, and I
Yes.
think everybody's gotta figure out, which is also the hardest part in this content creation journey. Is like, what is my worth? What can I offer them, and what can they offer me? And at one point, when that's not balanced, you've got to move on. So that's why I think
Exactly.
it's very justified that doing the solo thing, I think, is the wisest decision
Mhm.
in your case, right? Um,
Yeah.
all right. So you've been doing this for a long time. 5 years ago,
Mhm.
TikTok wasn't a thing.
Yes.
Um, Maybe it was. I don't know. 5 years ago is
2018.
2018. Not really. No, I think it was
It's like
only
2019.
yeah.
No,
It was
2020.
2020 is when it
2019. Yeah.
really changed because I was trying to make the timeline out, and I think at the Musically change because I don't know if
Yes.
you remember it was Musically before, and then it changed over to
Mhm.
TikTok. I think 2018 it was still like little cringe dances and like sped
Mhm.
up like things. So
Yeah.
for like mostly like young ladies trying to do like something fun, right?
Yeah.
um and then the big change happened around like, yeah, 2019, 2020 kind of
Mhm.
blew up. um I was talking with someone before about how like how was like their growth the growth back then didn't really happen, like because discoverability on Twitch is a problem, and
Yes.
I think it's always been. um And I think from since its conception, it's never been its strong suit because when Justin TV was out there, there
Mhm.
were only like 300 streamers on the platform, perhaps,
Yeah.
but you would only go watch the people that brought you out from like an announced stream. Because I remember watching the back then it wasn't even the Face Clan channel that streamed; it was Face Temper used to
Mhm.
stream on Justin TV, and they were big because they would announce it in advance, like, hey, we're doing a stream this day, the whatever. And Justin TV then transitioned into Twitch, and I think they never really got a crack at like how discoverability is gonna happen.
Right.
So content creating was not as accessible 5 years back, like back there. What were your first steps into getting out the door and building a community? Like, how did it happen for you? Because sometimes it just happens. Sometimes
Yeah.
people
For
just come
sure.
across your stream and you build up, you know, those initial like 5 to 10 people that are loyal, that are always there and have always been there for you.
Mhm.
How did maybe like, you know, those that very first little start happen?
That's a good question. So I think a lot of people think if you just stream off your console, you're not gonna make it. But as long as like you have a good personality, you can make people laugh and stuff, like that's all that really matters at the end of the day. If you're entertaining and stuff, that's pretty much how I grew. It's just being funny and just like saying, wild things or whatever, and people just enjoyed it. Even when I was streaming off my PlayStation, like I was playing Overwatch, I was playing Skyrim at one point, um, and a whole other like bunch of like RPGs and stuff like that. But as long as you have a good heart, people will come through. People will see like what you what you do, and also just posting on social media is like funny moments and stuff like that. Um, and people will see that, they see potential, they want to come through and like support you, you know, and that's like one of
Yeah.
the biggest things that a lot of people tend to fail not to do is to post their content on different social media platforms, because not just only on Twitter, but you know, TikTok, even Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. You're bringing different audiences from different platforms to streaming, like to like either Kick or Twitch, and that's how you grow your community essentially. It's definitely been a long period of growing my community. Obviously, joining teams did help that as well. I will give that. I will definitely give a lot of credit to that. To certain organizations, also teams that they do have a certain weight to their name, which will bring in whoever's following that organization will check out your content, you
Yeah.
know? So it's literally just so the water effect, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Um, it literally just takes time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's something I have to remind myself every single day. And that if you have a passion for it, you're going to keep going regardless. And it is hard. It is hard. It's not easy growing a community, but you know, just got to stay consistent. You have to learn from other people, take notes on what other people are doing, and also implement it in your own way, which is like one of the biggest things that I really recommend. There's nothing wrong with taking notes from other people. And I think that's what a lot of people are scared of doing, because they're like, they're somehow going to get called out on Twitter. But at the same time, content creation is kind of low key copy and paste if you think about it.
It really
I'm
is.
not going to lie. Like, look at all the people that do reaction content. Where do you think all those people got that idea from? From somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, people doing for like setups. Where do you think they got that idea from? Somebody else. You know what I'm saying? They add their own twist to it.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, I got kind of off topic,
No, you're
but
good.
it's
You're
just
good. That's okay.
it takes time building community. You
It
know,
does. It does, and
and
it's not
yeah,
easy. Not easy, and
not
it could. Then again, I always say it could happen overnight, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't.
exactly.
It doesn't. Realistically, it doesn't. I think you kind of gave a great segue into our next topic, which is
Mhm.
the title of this podcast. You said it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but it can be done. However, for someone that's been doing it actively for as long as you've been doing it, um, so then again, this is why I started this. I started this
Yeah.
because I'm very motivation driven. And I've been
Mhm.
doing content creation, yes, for a long time, but for other media, which is like mainly my Instagram, clearly have not done a very good job with it because I've been doing it for 7 years. My audience is not really that wide, but then again, it's very localized as well. That's my excuse.
Yes.
Um, and I'm actually trying to take it more serious now because I've been learning so much from these little capsules that actually I think I've been picking about, because okay, Instagram really punishes you for not posting.
Yes. I
Instagram
agree.
is a very punishing platform because
Yes.
TikTok you can just come out of the blue, whatever, like you stop for a week and then you post one more week and it's like, oh my god, this I kind of hit algorithm for like
Right.
for nothing, like, and or it's very hit or miss, but it doesn't punish you as Instagram does. Instagram is like,
Yeah.
if you're not posting short form video content, we're burying your posts. If
Low-key,
you're
yeah.
not posting stories every day, or you're posting too many stories every day, we're burying your posts. If you're
Mhm.
posting a lot of links on your stories, we're burying your posts. And I
Mhm.
went from having 300, 500 views on my stories to having only 45, because I stopped posting because
Mhm.
I stopped taking photography jobs for about a year now that I've been like working.
Mhm.
And I completely stopped posting as well. I kind of abandoned the page. I posted like once a month, once every 2 months. And I wasn't even looking at the engagement. But to give you an example, I was only getting like, I don't know, 50 likes a photo. Keep in mind, I have 2,000 followers on Instagram. So not even the 10% in likes in return.
Mhm.
And the views are also like, I don't know, usually the views are higher than my following, but I was only getting like 300 views, 400 views per post, and it's like, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
So when I decided to take this a little bit more serious, I said, you know what, let's kick this back up again, because I think
Mhm.
I think I can make the experiment on both angles, both gaming and my what I want to be my business, which is
Mhm.
photography, which should be my primary focus. Um, but I did realize that the first 4 or 5 posts were really punishing.
Mhm.
It was really harsh. I was only getting 45 views a story, which I think is
Right.
absurd. I That's how many people used to be in my close friends at one point.
Mhm.
On Instagram, and now it's a lot easier to go back to the other numbers, but it took like 2 weeks of posting very consistently and having
Right.
posts buried, and that's a little unmotivating, like
Mhm.
demotivating, like it throws you down. It's like, I'm putting so much effort into this content,
Yeah.
and I don't know, some kid touching his belly is viral on the reels page, and it's like,
Yeah.
um I just came up with something random. But like, it's very demotivating at one point. If I didn't arm myself with the resources I've learned from these conversations I've been having with creators like yourself, I think I would have said, you know what, it's chalked and quit
Mhm.
immediately, because it's demoralizing. It's demoralizing to think that your effort is not appreciated by the people that view
Right.
your content.
Mhm.
um Knowing fully well that your content's not bad, because there's one
Right.
thing, there is bad content where you're starting out. I
Mhm.
Then again, kids, take Moosey's advice on this. When you're starting out, your content's probably not going to be the best,
Nope,
and it's not
it's
bad, but
not.
still post it. Don't be afraid to
Yep.
post it, not because you're going to look back into it and laugh and thank yourself for posting it, but bad content does exist. However, after you've had some time, like, I can talk about this because I've been doing it for 7 years, and my photography content is not bad. I can, I went to school for this. I know what I'm posting is not,
Right.
like, I'm not posting cell phone pictures out there. Like, you can
Mhm.
see my stuff and you're like, okay, this man puts work into this. Um, but it hurt me that I was only getting that amount of views, and I would have, in other situations, I have quit before because of this,
Mhm.
and they picked it up back again in like 6 months later.
Mhm.
How have you managed to deal with not doing that? Because that really hinders someone's career. Then
Yeah.
again, I don't know if I would have been doing this consistently for 7 years, like I am attempting to do now. Perhaps I'd be a completely different landscape for me, and I could have been making a living out of photography at this point
Mhm.
if I didn't give up.
Right.
But I did give up again and again, and now I'm at the point at, like, where it's harder to get there because a lot of people that started with me are already established in that, you know,
Mhm.
situation. So how have you approached this over the last 5 years?
Um, the biggest thing for me is that I don't do it off of motivation. I do it the fact that this is what I want to do.
Okay.
This is, I want to do this for a full-time thing. It's not motivation, it's discipline. And those are two different things. You know, getting, like, if you have to get up early in the morning to edit, that's discipline. You know, if you have to, after stream, you have to edit something really quickly, that's discipline. That's not motivation. Um, and it's literally just learning off of each post what you could do better. Like, oh, maybe I should have put this first instead of this. Maybe I should have used this text, or maybe I should have worded it differently instead of this. You know, each post, there's things are gonna flop regardless. Something's gonna flop, and that's part of the grind. But you have to learn from it and not take a hit from it. Yes, it does hurt when something that you thought would be really good, it doesn't hit, and it's a pretty bad feeling. It's terrible, but you have to make it a cup half full type of mindset where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what can I do to improve? What is my purpose of posting this content? And I think that's what a lot of people also miss the point of when they're posting content. They're just putting it out there, just put it out there. What is the purpose? What is the point that you're trying to get across to an audience? What audience um are you trying to engage with? And those are like the questions that I've been starting to actually recently ask myself too. And you just got to keep doing what you're doing, because once you see that change, it keeps you going. Even if the small, like, if something that did flop, use it as discipline to get better somehow, some way. So that's kind of how I look at it.
That's very wise. Very wise, because
Yeah.
it comes from saying it's marathon, and it's been said in every episode so far, marathon, not a race.
Hmm.
No one's here to finish before anyone. Everyone's here
Right.
to run in the long run. And I think it's interesting to. So for me, I kind of question this side a little bit more,
Hmm.
because for me the discipline aspect is very hard to comprehend. I am
Right.
not someone very disciplined. Um, it sounds terrible, but I promise it's not as bad as it does. I have been a quitter for my most of my life. I
Hmm.
quit things quickly, like and it's very complicated for me personally to understand it being making things happen out of pure discipline, you know.
Hmm.
um I want to had something like in my mind and I didn't write it down. I totally forgot. um but for example, how do you keep yourself creating content,
Always
even
dreaming.
even
I'm
if
sorry, go on.
you don't enjoy, like, okay, so for example, if I am not motivated,
Okay.
I can't go out and take pictures.
Hmm.
It is very
Right.
hard for me to not have something like a concept, an idea in my mind, like
Right.
being inspired by something and
Hmm.
then going out to take pictures.
Right.
Because one thing is doing it for a job. Then again, this is my example because I have not hit that wall yet with the gaming thing. Um, I have not yet hit that wall with the gaming thing, but in the photography world, it's more like if I'm not inspired by something or I just don't feel like taking photos because I don't feel in the mood, like I can't apply my feelings into a shoot, or create a story
Hmm.
for a shoot. How do I just still go out and create content? Because I need content. I need to post content.
Right.
That's the only way that I'm gonna grow. Um, when you're not feeling like it, when because let's say you have your bad days on stream. There's just
Hmm.
days where you like maybe you've
Yeah.
had a bad day. You maybe something happened and you're like, I just want to play games, man,
Yeah.
and kind of like autopilot,
Hmm.
um but you say like you still turn on stream and you kind of soldier through it with stream. And how do you manage to like make the best out of the worst, like how do you manage to like when you just you just finish editing a video for I don't know how long you edit your videos for, let's say
Hmm.
30-45 minutes, right? Which I think is a very extensive session for me, at least. It's very overwhelming for me, but you just spend a long time editing a video and then you watch it again and you're like, like
Right.
what happens then? Like how do you has that happened to you? I don't know if it's happened to you, like.
Oh yeah, it happens to me all the time, especially the editing factor. Something that I actually took from somebody's stream, their name is Trey and Jay,
Mhm.
that I actually learned from was taking breaks from like editing certain videos, or else you will start overthinking it. So that means like maybe like an hour you work on one video, take a little break, get some water, whatever, and then work on something else. So like your brain kind of changes gears on like what you're working on. Because
Yeah.
sometimes if you work on something for too long, you start like really nitpicking
Mm,
everything.
mhm.
So then you have to like once I get into that mode, I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to take a break
Yeah,
like right
I
now.
got you. Okay.
Right. So that's kind of like what I do when it comes to editing, is just to work on something else, or maybe take a break and like watch a stream or something like that, because we all need that type of break. If we keep
Yeah.
going at it, we're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna scrap the whole thing. And then you had another question before that, right? Or
No, it was mostly like it was all leading up to
oh,
how,
leading.
yeah, how do you manage to like just put your content out there even if you don't maybe particularly are the biggest fan of it, like, because
Mhm.
sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, yeah, I'm whatever. Like, how do you
Right.
still, it's like, how am I putting this stuff there when this guy's doing that, like,
Right.
um doing the whole comparing myself thing, which is horrible. Don't do it, kids.
I compare myself all the time. You're not alone.
It's terrible. I try not to. That
Mhm.
is mainly why I am not a lot. Like I am not. So I don't know how to. This is funny because I've kind of separated myself from the community of creators in my country that are
Mhm.
not my main competition, but that are like my peers, right? In that
Yeah.
field. And I focus my focus for social media has been Twitter for the past like 2 years, and it's like
Mhm.
I just don't pay attention to what's going on in my country because I really don't care. Because
That's fine.
I don't want to compare myself to other people because there's been like an influencer boom in my country where like
Yeah.
these kids have come out of nowhere and suddenly when I go into their accounts they're like they have 300K followers. I'm like, who? Excuse me, who are you?
Mhm. Right.
Um, and then they want to work with photographers and stuff, and it's like I don't know, like I'll post you on my page, and then you'll get nothing out of it. but
Exactly.
um, but I've kind of grown. I grew tired of like responding to these people like, hey, I don't do work if you don't pay me. So
Yeah.
I completely split myself off of it, and now that I think about it, my escape has been Twitter. So I've had a very good opportunity of ignoring what other people are doing, not because it doesn't come up on my feed, but more like I just don't check.
Mhm.
So that's really helped me actually
Yeah, that's
not
okay.
compare myself with other people. But I don't
Mhm.
know if I keep doing this on the gaming side, for example. I don't know how I'm gonna overcome that because I cannot live without Twitter. I am on
Right.
Twitter 8 hours a day. It's
No, I feel
absurd.
that.
It's absurd. I hate it. Like I'm scared of every Sunday when my screen time summary comes on my phone. It's like I don't even want to look at how much like
Right.
my active time used to be like 13 hours a day on the phone, and it's like I need help.
Mhm.
Um. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna approach that. That's actually interesting. But moving on.
Mhm.
Moving on.
Wait, one more thing,
Yeah.
sorry,
Go
but kind
ahead.
of like
Yeah.
backpacking. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what.
Piggybacking.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I kind of swore in a different direction with what you said to like how do you just like post content
Yeah.
regardless?
Yeah.
Like somebody's gonna like it. Regardless, somebody out there is going to like it. Whether if it's just a few people, if it turns and then it's all of a sudden turns into a lot of people, somebody out there is gonna like that content. And that's like a good like mindset to have regardless because not everybody's gonna like you either. Not everybody's gonna like your content, but somebody out there thoroughly enjoys your content. You know, it might not like, you know, get a certain amount of views, it might not get a certain amount of like likes, but just receiving some type of feedback from it, what if it's like one or two people, it still goes a long way.
Yeah.
So just post it regardless.
I agree. I agree. That is something that Steph was saying, and
Hmm.
I don't want to spoil it because it's coming afterwards.
Yeah.
But just I think it's very like it's very relevant to say this, and it's that hey man, look, numbers are very overwhelming, and
Yes.
to everyone.
Hmm.
But keep in mind that there's still people on the other like like that engage with your content,
There's a
and
7 billion people out there. You're gonna aim to entertain somebody.
imagine no, but it's like, hey, like, oh my god, I'm only getting 10 likes a post, and like, or I'm only getting, I don't know, I'm only getting 5 viewers, I'm only getting 10 viewers. Like, it goes for both, right? Like streaming
Right.
content. Like, okay, just you know what? You feel overwhelmed because it's so little numbers, and you see other people with that big numbers. Like,
Yeah.
imagine them in a room, man. I can't imagine
Exactly.
5 people in my room right now. It's like it's packed. I can't breathe. You have too much personal. Like there's no personal space
Yeah.
boundaries here. It's like 10
Right.
people, let alone like in a room. It's like that 10 people is more than I invited to my birthday party. Come on now, like
Right.
so just keep in mind that there is people out there that do enjoy the
Mhm.
content, even if it's man, if it's two of us, it's a party. Like so yeah, it's numbers are overwhelming, but don't get caught up on that. And I've also
Yeah.
learned a little bit about like, hey man, it's a process, like someone's gonna like it, and maybe I don't know, someone's gonna share it, and they're gonna be ready for the next video, and they're gonna laugh at it, and they're gonna pop into your stream one day, and maybe they're gonna tell their friends the next day, and it's a snowball, but it takes a
Right.
little bit of time to build up. So yeah,
Exactly.
okay. So okay, this is actually interesting because I don't know this about you, but
Right.
um, after 5 years of like, sorry, 5 years of a career,
Okay.
how and when did would you say you found like your break? Like when did you think it's like, oh my god, when you realize like, oh my god, I am someone? Because we were talking about the partnership with like organization thing, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, now you know you're someone, and you know your worth, and you have, there's a number in your
Mhm.
head when you say like how much is T worth. You have a number. When do you come to the realization that you had a number? Like how when do you come to the realization that like, oh my god, I'm doing this, like.
Um, a very interesting question because, like, me personally, I don't feel like even hit my break yet.
Okay.
Um, it still breaks my heart as somebody who's been on Twitch for about, 7 years. I'm still not partnered yet. So I don't even
Yeah.
feel like I'm not even like, somebody. I still feel like I'm nobody. I know it's just like, oh, it's just a badge, it's just blah blah blah. But it does hold some type of value.
It does. A
Um,
100%.
it does. Yeah, and it means that you're doing something right. You're verified, which companies do look at, but that's just my experience. I personally don't think I've had my break yet.
Okay.
I'm still growing in different ways, and
That's a
like,
valid answer.
right. And I hope, the direction I am going, it's going somewhere because I feel like these past, like, ever since I moved back to Arizona, from Washington, I've had some type of, like, I think like maybe start of 2022, I started like actually like thinking, okay, maybe I'm actually right on the right page now. This is like going somewhere. You know, certain my numbers have gone up, A, B, C, and D, and everything. And like now, I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere with it. Even after like 7 years of doing it, I feel like I'm actually like about to hit my breakthrough, and I feel it. I see manifestations every day, every single day. Even it's something like I get a certain amount of likes on a certain post, I get a certain likes on, or a certain amount of people on a stream, or if it's just something small like receiving messages from people that I'm impacting every day. Like the breakthrough is coming. I feel it, but I just got to keep striving, keep dreaming, and keep doing more, because that's what creates content, is dreaming. Without
Yeah.
dreams, you can't create, and that's a really
100%.
big thing. So
That is, I love that. I love that. I love that because now we can also relate to you, because you're working towards the same goals. We're all working.
right.
And if you feel, she's one of us, one of us. No, but it's interesting. It's interesting to hear that from you because then again, as I started this, to me, you're someone very successful doing this.
Don't
Maybe
make me cry, man. I'm gonna.
I will. I will. I get very emotional. I'm good with words. I am. If I have a talent in this world, is that I can speak out of my ass, and I can say very nice things about someone, and that's been my biggest talent my entire life. So but I think it's deserved. I think it's deserved for you to also recognize that, hey, look, this is, regardless of this as being how you feel.
Mhm.
I think you are an established name. Doesn't matter if it's small, man. It doesn't matter if it's like, listen, if you're on the billboard for Coachella and
Right.
your name isn't like, because they start big and they start going small, it's still in the fucking thing,
Exactly. I agree.
and to
Mhm.
me, your name is up there. And I think to other big creators considering you,
Mhm.
like they would agree with me because they know who you are.
Right.
And a lot of smaller creators look up to you the same way I do. And a lot of big creators also look up to you, which is interesting because I have had opinions about you with other people, uh and
Ask who? Is that
everything.
okay?
What?
I'm actually curious. Can I ask who? I'm actually curious. Is that
I'll
bad?
tell you afterwards. I'll tell you
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's a good thing. No, because I've asked around because I want to do my research. It's like, hey,
Right.
do you know this person? And like, they're like, what do you think of them? Just to kind of run a background. And I
Right.
did this with Steph. I did this with Muzi as well because I didn't know anything about Muzi. But Steph, on the other hand, is like, I've been in her stream since she's only streaming for 2 months. So it's like, I would like to have a little bit of a background just to
Yeah.
sound informed. And and it's not as easy to get that information. So
Right.
and you I knew personally the most. I actually, yeah, I think I know you personally. Like, I've talked to you outside of your stream or whatever the most out of
Mhm.
all my guests. So so I kind of felt very comfortable with you. But regardless, I do view you as someone established, successful. You're gonna see on Steph's podcast that we do talk a little bit about it in the podcast and about you. Because we think like she looks up to you. Like, it's crazy because she just got partnered. She got,
Right.
going for the batch thing. However, for her, she's one of my biggest inspirations because the way she does it, the way she's a very shy person, she said.
Yes. Yeah.
And then she says that she feels like you're so outgoing and so loud and so you, and she's kind of tried to imitate this now that she's doing it full time because she's gotten more comfortable on camera. And it's like, I just want to be like T. Like, just say shit out my ass when it comes into my mind, and then scream when I need to scream, and then just like, like, that's funny, and be welcoming and be loving, and she's kind of adopted that, and she's found her success thanks to you, or thanks to at least imitating that part of you. And uh bury that into your heart, because I want to translate this to English. There's a saying that says, kind of like, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to say fake it, like, it's you've I
Yeah.
think you've made it. I think you've made it a part of all of our hearts, and you've made a good impression on all of us, and we look up to you because of that. So I guarantee it, T. You feel it coming. I feel it coming too, man. It's coming. It's coming.
Thank you.
Regardless, if it's purple, if it's green, if it's, if it comes with something else that everyone's working towards right now on that green app. But I feel like it's coming. If that's what it takes for you to convince yourself, I promise you it'll take no time, because you've been grinding your ass off. We all see it. I think the gym channel is hilarious. The gym content, I follow it mostly on Instagram, because I think you do less gaming and more of that on
Yeah.
Instagram, so it comes up more on my feed. I don't really watch TikTok. I only go on TikTok to post, or like when it's really late at
Right.
night, and my feed is only Reddit threads on the
Yeah,
Minecraft,
dude, I
the
love
guy
those.
on Minecraft jumping around. So, like, yeah, gaming doesn't really come on my timeline, but I do watch a lot of your gym content, especially because that is very into my algorithm as well.
Mhm.
And I think that if it's not from that, it's from the gaming thing, and it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry about it. You said it yourself. Don't pay too much attention to it. You got to keep going. It's discipline. I think you already
Right.
got that. I think you have that set down. You have the
Thank you.
formula ready.
Mhm.
It should take no time. So, any besides the checkmark thing, like,
Mhm.
which I think is your current goal,
Yes.
and it has been for the past couple months, but right now I think you're like set on it better than ever. Do you have any other future goals that maybe you want to, like, that you feel close or you're working towards at the moment, that you might want to, like?
Um, I think, mm, like short term or like long term.
Whatever you want to give me, man. Like,
Okay.
just top of your head, like, oh my god, like, I have this coming, or like, that you can
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but if there's
You're fine.
if there's anything else, like, I'm working towards this and I want to make this happen, and
Mhm.
so we can be on the lookout, man, because I think it's cool when people are excited for your success. I think it's cool that when you reach something successful, you can give yourself a pat on the back and talk your talk, because you've
Yeah.
earned it and you worked it and you know how much it meant to you. But
Yeah.
I also like it when other people are happy for you, and I want to be happy for you for your future goals. So, hey, man, let me be on the lookout, like, keep me in the loop. So anything really. Like, if you have anything, it's okay
Um,
if you don't have
yeah.
anything.
I remember I recently actually like DM'd my ghost energy or ghost lifestyle manager, and I told him one day I'm gonna be on the front page of Ghost.
Okay.
It's gonna happen. Like, I want that to happen because I
Okay.
love Ghost. I do. I love ghost
I
products and everything
think
like that.
I think you're a
So
very good fit for that front page because it's part of your lifestyle and your lifestyle
right.
page. Like I think you know now that they're coming out with I want to try that flavor so bad. The cherry limeade, for example, like they come out with another like legend pre-workout thing.
Dude, it's so good. Oh my god.
I think
So good.
in the marketing for that, you'd be a great
Mhm.
fit, even if it's like, you know, like a few photos of you working out. Maybe they fly out
Right.
someone to your gym, or they fly you out to them too for promotional content. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Please, ghost. Please.
Y'all heard it here first. Ghosts, if you're watching, two
Please.
things. One, cherry limeade. I don't know who distributes Ghosts in my country because there is actually Ghosts now in my country, but please let me know so I can talk to them and they can bring it here because shipping costs are gonna kill me. Two, front page tea, please make it happen. I'm a DM this to I actually don't know anyone at Ghost. I know your manager. That's it.
Yeah.
If it's the same as Nakari's, I know your manager.
Yeah.
Your partnership manager. So but yeah. I don't know anyone at Ghost. So I don't know what I'm talking out my ass. But anyway, it'd be cool. I actually want to try the Ghost. I just it's like $50 plus the shipping. So and
Yeah.
like the shipping to my country. So it'll have to wait. I'm happy I have the cans now.
Right.
I
There you go.
just recently tried them. What's your favorite can?
Right now it's a sour pink lemonade. That really
Fuck.
tastes like a Starburst. It's
Another one that
so
I can't
good.
have. It's
I
not
know,
here yet.
sorry. It's so good.
I've had the Warheads once,
Mhm.
the two. Not my favorite, but I get the appeal. I
Yes.
get like if you're in like this because it tastes like the damn thing. It's like
Yes.
it literally like putting a warhead in your mouth because it's just that sour, but it really tastes good. Like if you're into that, I can see the appeal.
Right.
Ironically, for a lot of people have been surprised when I say this, my favorite flavor has been citrus.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Because my favorite thing to drink after Coke, because Coke is I'm addicted. I have a problem. Is lemon lime Gatorade,
Yeah. Yes.
and
It's really
and
good.
and then the citrus kind of gives me the feel. Orange cream was okay, and then I tried. There's another flavor I tried. I don't remember, but yeah, I like them. I haven't tried their protein because I have like a big fucking 20 kg thing of protein
Yeah,
at
for
home.
sure.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see why I see myself buying it yet. And I do want to try the legend. That one, the it's like Legend Plus or something.
Legend.
That one has like more. That one has like
400
400 grams of
milligram.
caffeine, which is
Beautiful.
what I take in my regular pre-workout. I
Right.
drink one that's called like Ape Shit Untamed, which is absurd. It has 420 milligrams of caffeine, and I need high stimuli because I'm much like of a bigger man, so I do need like a lot of. I love beta alanine, so I do like the twitchiness and like the itchiness. Like I love
Yes,
that. I
I
love
love
that.
the spiders. Oh,
I
so
love
good.
that. So I'm really eager to try that. But anyway, um, quick, and this is the part where it comes back to like this is the gift that keeps on giving because these
Yes.
are the type of things that I'm gonna cut out and post on TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
3 tips at the top of your head, no explanation, like no need to give background. 3 tips you could give to someone that wants to start content creating today. Go.
Post content, be around good people, and keep going regardless.
Keep going regardless. That everyone else in that, I love that. It's then again marathon, not a race, so it doesn't matter. Don't burn yourself out at the beginning. Gotta keep going slow, steady. Well, you guys heard it here first. T, thank you so very much for being a part of this. I have enjoyed the past. I'm gonna wait. I have enjoyed the past 60 minutes so much. We just hit an hour, which is what I wanted this to be around, like an hour.
Right.
Thank you so much. It's been a lovely conversation. Besides me gassing you up for half of it, I think it's been very productive. It's been a very good insight into who you are, your career, your path, and anyone that's obsessed with tea would very much appreciate watching this. No, I'm joking, but everyone, I think this is very cool for people that want to learn. I think this is something that you don't see because we can be in your streams and ask you questions every now and then. You can tell your story every now and then, but it's not as accessible as having the option to having a full-blown
True.
conversation that talks about your story.
Hmm.
um and then
Yeah.
maybe we can look back into this a year from now and say like, oh look, I was so worried about it, and now look where I'm
I
at.
hope so.
So
This is all big manifestation
a
right here,
hundred
so I
percent, a hundred
appreciate that.
percent,
Thank
a
you.
hundred percent. It is. I'm into that, man. You know, like I'm at the point in my life, and it's like, hey, the least that can happen is it doesn't happen. So let me just put it out there in the universe, and the universe is gonna be
Right.
good to me. You know, like if I believe the universe is gonna be good to me, it's gonna be good to me. So
Mhm.
so yeah, let's close this down with that thought that if the
Mhm.
universe, you know, just put it out there.
Exactly. There
Put
you
it out
go.
there. Write it down in a notebook.
Yes,
Write it
sir.
down in a notebook as if it already happened.
Exactly.
I am a successful content creator, or I am a
There you go.
successful photographer,
There you
and I
go.
promise you, it's not happened for me yet, but I promise you, I'll work towards it, and
You got it.
we'll look back into this. I promise, and
I
with good
believe in
eyes.
you.
All right, me too. Me
Yeah.
too. I believe in you. So T, un besito para ti, which means a little kiss for you. To the audience, thank you so much for watching and spending your time with us. This has been Rob T. Any goodbye messages?
Um, Whatever you have your mind set on, just keep doing it.
Just keep doing it. All right. Well, that's been us. Goodbye.